Hey, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
And as we promised, earlier this week we performed a review of the movie version of Stargate.
Also, we are the Rambling Reviewers. In case you didn't figure that out.
Should we start over?
Nah, it's alright.
Okay, well, anyways, this is the promised Stargate Retrospective, talking about the series over the course of its run.
Overall, the 3 series, actually. I mean, this is a 4? Where's the 4th series?
I'll get to that later.
Oh my gosh, there's a secret 4th series I don't know about.
Yeah, probably better that way.
Okay. But is this like Star Trek animated series? It's like some random oddball series everybody hates?
Eh.
Okay. So the series are Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, and Stargate Universe.
Correct.
I've not seen any of these all the way through, but I have seen some of all of these.
That about sums it up, except I'm a little more extensive. And
you are more extensive. You've read some of the books.
Yes, I have. That's because I'm a more obsessive fan than you are.
Yes, you are.
But anyways, Stargate SG-1 starts off where, well, Stargate the movie
Left off. I mean, yeah, it's basically they make the movie into a series and like, oh look, the gate can go to a whole bunch of different places, and there's a whole bunch of other villains like Ra, and a whole bunch of other oppressed peoples and different planets, and they all speak English.
Okay, first thing, fact I forgot to put into the last review.
Yeah.
Stargate the movie was actually the very first movie to have a website.
No.
Okay, now that
Technology.
that's out of the way. The very first bad guys were the Goa'uld.
Yep.
And it's revealed that some of what we learned in the last movie has been retconned.
Yep.
For example, the Goa'uld did not look like the Roswell Greys.
Yep.
It was later retconned by like one of the role-playing manuals that Ra took over, the species that does look like them, but we'll get to those aliens later.
All right.
He's actually a member of a species known as the Goa'uld.
Goa'uld.
He was the supreme system lord, meaning that he ruled over all the other Goa'uld, who are...
They're all evil.
Sapient cranial parasites.
It's a race of evil.
They're snakes that burrow into your skin and into your brain and take over your body.
Yep.
Okay, not all of them are evil. There's the Tok'ra, but...
Okay,
we'll
they're almost all evil.
But anyways, it turns out that when we nuked Ra straight to hell...
Yep.
We accidentally sort of started a massive galactic civil war.
Yep.
We didn't know that at the time, though, but we first get our inkling when the gate suddenly opens. We've clearly been unable to dismantle it.
And we decided not to bury it for some reason.
Yeah.
And we're just
possibly
dumb.
because we thought it was the only other gate in existence, and we thought that if Abydos wasn't using theirs, then no one would be coming through.
Yeah.
Because in comes Apophis, the brother of Ra.
Yep.
And he comes in with a bunch of his Jaffa, modified humans that are tougher than humans.
Yep.
And have little Goa'uld living in pouches in their stomachs. Yes, they are kangaroos.
Yeah.
No, they're human modified. He comes through, he kidnaps one of the female guards for use as the host of his queen. And basically says, fuck all y'alls, and storms off.
Is there any particular reason he wanted that girl to be the host of his queen?
She was the only female in the room.
So they just dialed us randomly then?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow, okay. Nobody figured out it was us. I guess they wouldn't. Ra was blown up.
Yeah, Ra was blown up. I think it was because, Apophis figured, oh, my brother is dead. I have now inherited all of his territory. This is a world that's part of his territory.
You think they would remember the world that he conquered first? But I guess that's retcon too, isn't it? Or a little bit.
Well, I mean, the Goa'uld Empire didn't conquer Earth first. It's just where they got humans from.
You think they'd remember where that was, too? It's kind of an important place. Like, hey, we discovered the best species to infest ever.
Well, once they spread them out to, like, every damn corner of the galaxy.
Yeah, it didn't matter as much, yeah.
Which it actually does attempt to justify all the aliens that are actually humans.
Yeah.
They are humans.
They are humans. They're descended from us from 10,000 years ago.
Yep, the Goa'uld found that we're, like, the perfect hosts.
All right.
And started spreading us all over the galaxy.
And they all speak English.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It was fun, though, when they went to Russia and the people were actually speaking Russian. And I was like, wow, look at that.
Oh, yeah, that was good. So, yeah, the first thing they do is they contact O'Neill. And they ask, what the hell? I thought you killed this. O'Neill's like, yeah, funny story about that. Yeah, we didn't do that.
Yeah, so what? He told them he blew up Jackson?
Yeah.
That is so weird.
I don't know why he wasn't court-martialed for that, actually. Also,
Well,
the actors have changed in this series, and the The guy who plays MacGyver? Yeah, that's Jack O'Neill now.
Yay!
This is the Jack O'Neill everyone knows and loves.
He's the best part of the series, really, because
easily.
he makes fun of the series. So, and we're hopefully we're getting around to our general critique, because you could list off like all the episodes, and this is what happened next, and then there was Ball, and then there was Asgard, and then
anyway, so that starts off the series.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, no, it doesn't. Okay, so basically they go to try to get the captured people back and get Daniel Jackson to explain, hey, what the hell? When they go to Abydos, they find that Jackson found this large room, the cartouche on Abydos, where they had lots of different symbol combinations, all leading to different worlds. Naturally, this would have been massively helpful, but whatever.
They didn't find it earlier. Yeah.
Yep, so they figure out how to dial these worlds then. And they follow the Jaffa and Apophis to his homeworld of Chulak, where they are captured almost immediately.
Yeah, it happens a lot in Stargate, especially Atlantis. I'll get to that. Remind me on Atlantis.
Okay. Well, anyways, they encounter in the prison cell, the crewman gets the crewman who was kidnapped gets killed because the host didn't like her.
Oh.
So Apophis decided, fuck you.
Okay.
He then decides Sharee, the Daniel Jackson's wife, is the perfect host for his mate.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that formed a bit of a plot arc for Daniel.
Okay.
But while there, in the prison cell, Jaffa takes notice of O'Neill's watch and says, "This is not Goa'uld technology." And he's like, "Yeah, we come from Earth. We come from..." And they draw the symbol for Earth. And the Jaffa is like, what the hell? And joins up with them. No, I'm serious. He pretty much joins up with them because he hates the Goa'uld and figures, I'm going to die anyway.
Yep.
Might as well go down swinging.
Yep.
So, yes, that's how the series begins. They get together a bunch of people, and they go out to different worlds. The series pretty much follows the main team, SG-1.
Yep.
Consistent of Dr. Daniel Jackson, who's there for language issues.
He's the smart guy, along with Carter. They're both the smart guy.
Samantha Carter, who is the person who pretty much designed pretty much all the high-tech stuff that the Earth uses.
She's the Reed Richards of this universe.
Yeah.
Yep.
I seriously think they should just clone her over and over again and just have her build lots of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I know O'Neill wouldn't mind having lots of clones of Carter. So Carter, Jackson, O'Neill, and Teal'c.
Yep.
The Jaffa we mentioned, who has...
He's the strong guy.
Yeah. And he's the alien who looks in on our culture and makes comments on it.
Yeah. He is the Axe from Animorphs, kind of, a little bit.
Ah, okay. Or the Spock, or the Data.
Yeah.
Or the Odo. Or the Seven of Nine.
He's like the Spock that will punch your face out instead of giving you a Vulcan nerve pinch. Because
that's surprisingly accurate.
Because he has that sort of formal way about it. He's at that formality of Spock, but with that warrior culture thing of a Klingon. A true warrior knows how to fold them.
Yes,
he said that once. Yeah,
and he has his own sense of humor, which is shown like in one episode.
Which is nice. Yeah.
Well, he tells the joke. And then he starts laughing, even though it's massively not funny.
Yeah.
So the first few seasons are all about the fight against Ra. Apophis, the brother of Ra, which is where I got confused.
It's cool.
And they meet up with a bunch of cool aliens and stuff, like the Asgard.
Yep.
These guys are awesome. They are total bros with Earth. They have the best technology of the setting.
Yep.
And they're the Roswell Greys. They're the ones that... One of them was possessed by Ra, but yeah. We also encounter lots of other worlds. Most of the time, the show's plots could be pretty thin.
Yeah,
This is where
I get to just jump in, because I actually know some of the things. For me, Stargate in general, and it's probably... especially, well, SG-1 and Atlantis are kind of tied. But Stargate in general was always sort of channel flipping sci-fi, I called it. I would flip through my channels, and I'd be head on Sci-Fi Channel, and I'd be like, oh, Stargate, yeah, I guess I'll watch it. Compared to BSG, where I would find out the schedule in advance and, make sure I was there. It just felt like it was made of cardboard.
It was, part of this is that the
budget was low.
The budget was really low, meaning they they could only have one SG team. They had to reuse the locations a lot.
They kept going to this one place with this one forest, you know.
And they would be all like, "Oh, this is a new alien planet." Yep, sure it is.
It's the same forest.
That's
again.
the same hill that you were shot in the last episode.
Yeah.
And the plots tended to be pretty similar. They go to an alien planet. They encounter a town full of transplanted humans.
Yep.
Like there's a leader that greets them and he's all welcoming and friendly, but then there's a subordinate who's not welcoming and friendly, and oh shit, the subordinate was working with the local alien menace, and they stop it, and everyone goes home happy, except that they didn't recover any alien technology or mining or anything.
Not a whole lot of character development, really. I mean,
but a lot of
they tried sometimes, and then it was just kind of, not quite there.
Which I don't think was that bad. The characters didn't really need a whole lot of development. Okay, Teal'c was the one who underwent the most character development.
Teal'c had something.
Jack O'Neill did not need to change, at all. And he was just hilarious. At one point, let me give you an example. There's this world that's divided into 3 countries, and they've signed an agreement with a Goa'uld Anubis, who is really, really friggin' evil, even for the Goa'uld. The collaborator said, I'm sorry, General O'Neill, but I promised Anubis that I would deliver him to you to him. O'Neill goes, well, that just makes you an idiot. And the guy says, and in return, Anubis has promised he will leave my people alone. See my previous comment.
Well, I love...
He just makes fun of all this sort of stuff.
And the people, they know the sci-fi tropes, especially him. They point out, like, this is kind of cliche, or I love when this one other Overlord guy, Ball, is like talking to him via hologram, and O'Neill's giving him crap, and Ball's like, you dare mock me? And he's like, Ball, come on. Of course I dare mock you.
As the series went on, the threats got stranger in some ways, like the replicators, basically von Neumann devices made of Lego and will eat your planets.
You know that, they looked like humans.
That's only once they took the form of their creator.
But they always do that. They're like the Cylons without toasters. Like, they're robots, but, they're humans.
Yeah. It's...
I mean, again, budget. I get it.
Okay.
Man, it was a lot cooler seeing, like, Terminator 2, the guy makes blades out of his arms. Like, clearly not a regular person.
Okay, well, they did that a few times with, like, Replicator.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last bad guy of SG-1 was the Ori. Many people do not like the last 2 seasons.
Basically, they thought the series was going to end at season 8, so they killed off the main villains, finally. Like, absolutely. And then, oh, wait, we have another season. I guess we'll invent these new guys entirely.
Well, that's kind of the problem, because it was the Ori. Whereas most of the bad guys in the show took inspiration from various ancient religions, the one they chose inspiration for this one was Catholicism. Well, was it? Christianity. It's the closest.
I didn't quite get that impression, but
meaning
I didn't see
that they're back. We were literally fighting gods now. Before we were fighting, at best, hopped up.
They are still faking it, aren't they? Like, they have spaceships.
Yeah.
I saw the last episode. We started blowing the crap out of them.
Okay, yes. But they're at the point where you can legitimately claim to be a god, and no one can really call you out on it.
Really? Like, do they have superpowers?
Yes.
I haven't seen much of them, sorry.
The Ori were bad. They... Basically, anytime the Ori showed up on screen, they had to resort to Deus Ex Machinas in order to win.
No. Is that when they blew up the sun?
No,
that's the best 6.
That was actually how they killed Apophis, though.
Ah, okay. That's a good way to kill.
But, yeah, so they...
Yeah.
Essentially... Well, part of the other problem was they started taking on new actors. The guy who played Jack O'Neill...
He wanted to leave since, like, season 6, I heard.
Yeah, well, they didn't let him leave, but they let him be the general, meaning he didn't have to go out and do this stuff.
He was put on a bus. He was commuting by bus, I believe the term is. Look it up on TV tropes.
Yes, and later he decided, I'm in the Pentagon now. And they have another General Landry, who replaced General Hammond. I loved General Hammond. He was like this big butterball that was like a father to all his men.
Yeah, he was alright.
But they replaced Jack O'Neill with Ben Browder, which normally I would be in favor of that because I love Farscape. Mm-hmm. And he played John Crichton.
Yeah.
He was good there, but he just felt really dull
Really?
here.
I saw this
Okay,
one
he
thing
felt
where
like
he was mocking an Ori priest, and I was like, oh look, he's doing the O'Neill thing. Like I thought that was all right.
Yeah, but I don't know. Him and Shepard from Atlantis, I never really liked them much as
I
protagonists.
like him better than Shepard. He's
Okay,
got more of an O'Neill than Shepard does.
You said, "Oh, Shepard."
Yeah, I did.
I'm
I'm sure that's a fanfic name somewhere.
And they brought in Vala Maldoran, played by Claudia Black, who played another role in Farscape as Ben Browder's lover / friend / frenemy / it's Farscape. It's really complicated.
It was his Fujiko. Look up the reference.
Yeah, and Vala Maldoran was, in a word, soul-grindingly annoying.
No.
Her basic trait was, I'm a kleptomaniac who does everything because I damn well want it to. Fuck all y'alls. But I'm still on the good side.
That's a little complicated.
Yeah, eventually they had to resort to sending a magic box through the Stargate to the Ori galaxy, which brainwashed everyone into not believing the Ori were gods, and that somehow made everything okay.
Also, we shot the heck out of them in the last episode. I remember that, because the Asgard gave us their technology, and we're like,
yeah,
look, it's an Ori ship, boom, up, threat rollover.
SG-1, the ending, the series finale of just the regular series itself.
Yeah.
Very disappointing, because the Asgard died, and the Asgard were awesome, man.
Yeah.
It was Thor is the supreme commander of the Asgard. He is maybe like 2 feet tall.
We mean a different Thor, not from Marvel.
Yeah,
Just
he's
clear.
a Roswell Gray. He's 2 feet tall. He looks like you could break him if you sneezed too strongly in his direction. And yet he controls a 2-kilometer-long super battle cruiser that's capable of glassing every planet in the solar system in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And he just had this great, wonderful alien sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like, this one guy said, listen, Commander Thor, Supreme Commander Thor. And you got the sensation that he was just thinking, yeah, go on, correct me again. Yeah, say my title wrong again, human. I will teleport you into the sun. And he was just made of funny and win.
Yeah.
Oh, and then... But
overall,
it was a good series. I just suggest staying away from season 8 and 9.
You mean 9 and 10?
9 and 10.
Yeah.
The series really concluded in Stargate Arc of Truth and Stargate Continuum.
Yeah, they made movies.
Arc of Truth was when they finally and utterly defeated the Ori threat once and for all, because Vala's half-ancient ascended Ori daughter was now a god, and they had to brainwash everyone again. Actually, no, wait. It wasn't brainwashing the first time. It was a weapon that could kill ancient beings.
Oh.
The ancients, by the way, they're humans from 50 million years ago.
And they ascended into energy being things.
What that basically means is they do jack shit and are utter dicks.
Yeah, kind of.
Anytime they could possibly do something that would help everyone, they do nothing.
All-powerful bystander.
Oh, no, it's even worse than all-powerful bystander because they don't even clean up their toys. Give it this about the Forerunners, who... You know, they created weapons specifically for wiping out every living thing in the galaxy.
Yeah.
They at least cleaned up their shit. It's like every time you turn around in some of the later seasons, it was like, oh, I press this button. Now every star in the galaxy will explode for no damn reason. And you don't even have like an off switch or a warning thing that says, warning, do not push this damn button, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have.
Or, you know, dismantling it.
You know what we should
You're energy beings who are like gods. You can turn off your shit. Or maybe make it so it doesn't work.
We should sell, like, stickers that just have that warning thing. People could, like, buy them and put them next to random buttons in their house.
And anytime that it was like, oh, we can't interfere because otherwise we might be like the Ori.
You could help us instead of the Ori.
Yeah, dude, this is like Prime Directive bullshit. And, okay, I'm not getting into a debate about the Prime Directive. Not always a fan. There are times when it's okay to not intervene. But, you know, there's a difference between letting things take their course and letting the galaxy get exterminated because you couldn't be bothered to give a fuck.
Yeah. So a lot of things were just thin that way.
Yeah.
A lot of, you know... it just didn't have a great sense of place. I was comparing it to BSG in Battlestar Galactica in my mind recently, and I went, you know, in Battlestar Galactica, I mean, there was a smaller scope, you know, because we just had this one fleet kind of, and then we'd visit the occasional planet. But man, did we know that fleet well. Like, every bulkhead felt like real, you know, and people were milling about. They had political debates, right? And crises. They had religion. People had different ideas of religion, even though they were all sort of the same polytheistic. But there was like, Kim Kara said, "Oh, that was the way I was raised, but I'm not gonna go follow your prophecy," and things like that. There was moral dilemma. There was history to people. They had families. They got married sometimes.
There was intrigue. There were Cylons. There was betrayal.
There was, rigging an election. Like, there was just a lot. And there was, like, where does our fuel come from? And there's some Tillium. And the Tillium ship is, like, rebelling now. And we have to go find them. And, like, they had a sense of there was a world to it that kept on going. And Stargate felt much more like we set up a set for the plot to happen, and then nothing occurred furthermore as a result. The characters didn't really develop that much. I love this, and they have lampshade. Lampshade always helps. There's this one episode where the United States reveals to several other nations that we have the Stargate.
Which is where, the scene I talked about where Thor was like, Supreme Commander Thor.
Well, an earlier part of that episode was like this sort of bad guy bureaucrat is pointing out like Stargate's, the SG-1 group sucks, and they should be under my leadership instead. And he's like, isn't it true, General, that under your command, your base has been overrun completely several times over? And they have a little montage of like, how many times has our base been overrun? And you're like, yeah, guys, that's ridiculous. Like, why do you not have freaking rocket launchers pointed at the gate at this point? Unscheduled off-world activation. Boom! Frick you! We're sick of this getting invaded shit.
Dude, you should just have like a spike pit underneath it. Like, as soon as I serve a... Oh, shit! Oh! Why do you have a lava pit? Where did you get lava?
That would be awesome. We should write a fanfic for that. But
okay, if you want something really awesome, there was a fanfic by Hotpoint called XSG-COM. And it combines XCOM with Stargate. It is exactly as glorious as you might think. But they avoid a lot of these issues. Oh, wait, we didn't talk about some of the issues. Crap.
Well, one of the issues is they don't advance their technology.
Forgotten superweapon is very much a thing. Like, we found this civilization that has, like, instant never-die serum. Well, never visiting them again.
Yeah.
I mean, some people, it was honestly like, okay, they're not giving us the technology, and given that they can shoot ships out of the sky from the surface of the planet, let's go with obeying them.
Yeah.
Okay, I can admit that.
Sometimes,
but they wouldn't really take advantage of a lot of the things they discover.
Which is a thing because that's one of their core missions. Find alien tech and reuse it. And they didn't actually do that. They walked around with those same freaking assault rifles like for the whole 10 seasons.
By the time they were done, they should have collected so many staff rifles and, staff weapons and Zatnikatels. They should have been able to create, like, power armor with, like, laser cannons for eyeballs.
Yeah.
It should have been a walking armor made entirely out of DACA.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, so by the time the Ori roll around, it's like all of them are flying around in Iron Man armor.
That would be awesome, and I can also see why that doesn't fit inside the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But where the show really shines is how the characters interact to various situations. Most often, it's lampshading it.
The lampshade, yeah. That's the thing.
But, the characters are very good at what they do. Which is lampshading and interacting with one another. And negotiating.
I've seen deeper character interaction, though. I mean,
yeah, I know.
BSG again. Like, how deep did that get?
Okay, yes, Battlestar Galactica. But Stargate was not...
Even Star Trek. I felt like I knew that crew better than I knew SG-1. I felt like I had more of a history with them.
I did not want to.
And I'm mainly thinking of TNG here. I haven't really seen Voyager. TNG, though.
Do not see Voyager.
TNG was good. And you had this... I remember Tasha dies in the first season of TNG. And the fact of her death continues to echo through the entire series. People mention it. They meet her sister at one point.
They meet her time travel created half Romulan daughter.
Whatever.
That happened.
Yeah, but stuff had a history to it, and you were learning bits about the characters, and Stargate was more of, oh yeah, that's that character doing that same thing they always do, kind of. Okay, yeah, I get it. It's okay, but
I think that's because, Stargate wasn't trying to be like a super serious show, like, I think it was partly a comedy series.
Yeah, I mean, in the lampshading, it certainly was.
And it's certainly a more lighthearted thing. it wasn't one of the best sci-fi series.
Yeah.
I'd still recommend it just because
Why not?
it's still good.
But yeah.
But that was SG-1.
It's SG-1. So
Now,
Atlantis.
Part of the way through Stargate SG-1, they discovered an ancient outpost in Antarctica. This was the launching site for the lost city of Atlantis.
Oh, that leads to one of my favorite lines in sci-fi. They go through the gate to get to the Antarctica gate, but they don't know like where it is, right?
Oh yeah.
They're stumbling out and they're like, "It's an ice planet!"
Ice to meet you.
Oh no, that'd be terrible.
What killed the Stargate program? The Ice Age! Okay, I don't care. That is my favorite line from a bad guy ever.
Batman and Robin was a terrible movie with lots of puns. Anyway, but I love that like, no, you morons, it's just Antarctica. Like, you got
It's this awesome blooper. Go look it up. But basically, Samantha Carter calls out Jack O'Neill on the fact that he used to play MacGyver and he should be able to fix this.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
they find,
yeah.
and it's where the lost city of Atlantis used to be before it launched to another galaxy.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. We have a mythology of existing somewhere around the North Atlantic Mediterranean area, and no way it was into Antarctica. How did the mythologies spring up then, I wonder? Who told them?
I don't know.
Hey, we're leaving the planet, just so you know, we had a city in the Mediterranean.
Well, the legends of Atlantis... I have no idea. Screw it. Anyway, so they go to this other galaxy, the Pegasus Dwarf Irregular Galaxy.
Yep.
Where the ancients went, except they're also called the Alterans. Except over here in this galaxy, they're called the Lanteans.
Lanteans. As in Atlantis.
Yeah,
Atlantean.
but I prefer to call them Lanteans just because it sounds distinct from Atlantis.
Whatever.
But yeah, so the ancients were here, and guess what? Their legacy of fucking the hell out of things is complete.
That should be the whole premise of a series at some point. Just finding the neglectful precursors and curb stomping them for being so stupid.
Really? I was hoping they would use the ancient killing weapon on the ancients.
That's what it's meant for.
Oh, yeah, but so they raise the city, but... at first, they're unable to raise the city because it's at the bottom of the ocean.
Now, you're saying the bottom of the ocean in Pegasus, right?
The Pegasus Galaxy.
Okay, so they warp to the Pegasus Galaxy.
Through the Stargate.
And then they raise it up, and then they get stranded?
No. They're stranded once they're there because they can't go home because they don't have enough power.
Okay, and they didn't realize that on the first trip, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't think so. Otherwise, they would have packed better.
Right. So they're stranded, which I thought was a kind of unique idea for premise. Not only are they stranded somewhere else outside of our normal command and characters, but they're also in an ancient city, which has got all sorts of technology they don't understand, and like surprises popping out of the walls and stuff like that.
And massive ancient being dicks to each other.
Yeah.
I'm serious. There was an exploding tumor machine. It was a machine that would expose you to radiation that would give you exploding tumors.
Wow.
That would explode like a bomb. A major character died because of this stupidity. Seriously, I will find the ancients responsible. I don't care if I have to get the powers of the Q to do it. I will find them, and I will kick them so hard in the daddy bags that even their ascended asses will feel it.
Wow.
But anyways, it actually... No, it still doesn't make sense in context, but I'll explain the context later.
Yeah.
Well, while they're on the bottom of the ocean, they say, okay, we need to find a place where we can evacuate to because the shield's about to collapse and we're about to get crushed by a zillion gallons of water.
Yep.
So they go to this planet where they meet Taylor, who's a member of the Athosians.
Yep.
Not the Abadosians, but they're like a hunter-gatherer people who are really nice, and they're...
There's a lot of those in our universe. Everywhere.
Yeah, but I don't know. They felt like Native Americans, except, mixed with the Chinese a bit, and... annoying.
So the native Chinese, basically.
No.
Whatever, I'm making stuff up.
But yeah, so they find them and they're like, oh yeah, we're not from around here. Oh, you should leave quickly because the Wraith will come. And get used to that, people, because the Wraith are the bad guys of this series.
They're basically space vampires.
Mixed with bugs.
Yeah, but they totally suck your life out of you. They're space vampires.
Yeah, but they got like bug stuff too.
Yeah.
But
space bug
anyways, so then, foolishly blending around, they accidentally wake up all the Wraith.
Who were on their way anyway.
No, they were all asleep.
Then why did they say, you run away, the Wraith are coming?
I think I might have misspoken there.
Okay. Anyway, we woke up all the Wraith and doomed a galaxy.
Okay, well, actually, they don't wait. Okay, some of the Wraith are active, just keeping a watch out for all the other hives.
Oh, okay.
See, what the Wraith do is they take the galaxy and they wait for humans to increase in number to the point where they can all feed.
Yep.
Well, it wasn't supposed to wake up. Like, there was a few and they were alive. But then we woke up all of them, initiating galactic genocide. Yeah. Way to go, Earth!
Yeah, we kind of suck.
Yeah, so then Taylor and the Athosians join them on Atlantis, and they race to the surface, and they try to unfuck the galaxy.
And we live in Atlantis for the remainder of the show. It's why they call it Stargate Atlantis.
So the main team is a guy named Ford, who is extremely bland. He's like the Tasha Yar of this series. Not that Tasha Yar was bland.
I like Tasha Yar, but he dies early, is what you're saying.
Once he dies, it's the show gets better.
Yay. Though, not that Tasha was bad. The show got better for alternate reasons.
Yeah, but, like, she was only in Season 1, and after Season 1, blah, blah, blah.
Whatever. The timing was coincidentally similar.
Yeah, but, so,
like
it's
Tasha.
Ford, this Rodney McKay, who had shown up in SG-1. He's this smart, insufferable genius, but he's like, extremely nervous of everything, but he's humble, and he's got an ego the size of a galaxy.
He's like egotastic, humble somehow, nervous.
And I love
proud.
him. He's like my favorite Atlantis character.
He is. Yeah, I guess he's probably my favorite Atlantis character too.
And this is like a thing that really irritates me. He doesn't have a lot of the geek failings. Yeah, he's a geek and he's overweight and he's got allergies.
But he's not like fat. Like he runs around on these missions with the rest of them. He's just not as fit as the rest of them.
Which, considering that the rest of them are trained military personnel or someone who spent their entire life running the fuck away from space bug vampires.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit of forgivable.
Yeah.
Which is something I hate the Big Bang Theory because it presents geeks, but in a way that it makes us not want to.
He hates the show called The Big Bang Theory, not The Big Bang Theory.
The show called The Big Bang Theory because they have characters like Sheldon. It's like, yeah, this is what geeks do: point and laugh at the freaks. And when Rodney acts too geeky, yeah, they make fun of him for it. But then again, Rodney is also useful and has his own positive sides.
And has other non-geeky aspects to him,
And, has redeeming characteristics, unlike Sheldon. I do not like Sheldon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame people who like The Big Bang Theory. I get, like, why you might find that funny. But we're drawing a contrast to McKay anyway.
Yeah, so they go out into the galaxy, and predictably they fuck up a lot.
Yeah, and there's some more replicators and a bunch of... This is the thing I don't like about McKay is the way they use him as a plot device, because here's how it works. McKay, we need you to do some sort of technical wonderdry, like reconfigure the engines to work as teleporters or something random like that. And he's like, no, I don't think I could do that. No, you need to do it, McKay. No, I don't think I can do it. No, McKay, we really need you to do this. And he like spends the whole episode, I don't think I can do this. Oh, wait, right at the last second, I made the engines into teleporters. Somehow. Like, he's an omnidisciplinary scientist and always manages to get the thing fixed, like, right at the last minute. And he feels like, a plot device whenever he's doing that.
Oh, they're all plot devices.
Well, but, I don't know. That was one that was annoying. Because you always knew, like, he's going to figure it out right before the end of the episode. Except that one time you mentioned where he actually does screw things up. So, yay for that.
He screwed up so massively he blew up 5/6 of a star system.
Is that something?
Yeah, I think that more than makes up for every other time. Yeah, so,
But who was also on our team? We were mentioning the team members.
You were saying... Okay, there's McKay, Rodney.
Yeah, Rodney.
There's Ford, who is so bland and forgettable that I barely remember him.
He's introduced to be Shepard's second in command, right?
Yeah, then there's Shepard, who, my God, the man cannot act. Well, he can act. Yeah. It's just that his voice is so monotone that I could literally fall asleep listening to his voice.
He's just a generic military guy, It's not like...
But it wasn't generic military guy. I think generic military guy. I think of O'Neill from this movie. Like, he's gruff and tough, and he, could bench press a truck. Shepard was like the laid-back pseudo-military kind of guy that you see in bad TV shows. Like, okay, I guess we can do this.
A little, yeah.
He was just he felt very dull and flat. Then there's Taylor, whose default personality was optimistic, but not cheerful. It was kind of weird. She had like all this native wisdom.
Yeah.
Mildly annoying, really. I was not a fan of her.
Chewie.
He doesn't show up until second season. At the end of the first season, all the Wraith hives decide, hey, the Stargate teams from Atlantis have been screwing us up enough. We're going to get together and we're going to beat them. So, there's something you need to understand about the Wraith. They are annoying. They are not very effective as villains. Okay, they're effective as villains, but you didn't really feel all that menaced by them until you saw their starships. Their cruisers are 1 kilometer long. Their hive ships are 11 kilometers long.
There you go.
And they got together something like 20 to go curb stomp Atlantis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somehow we survived for 4 more seasons.
Yeah. But anyways, so as we're getting our asses handed to us, suddenly a ship from Earth arrives because they found out a way to make intergalactic hyperdrives off screen.
Which unfortunately gets rid of that nice isolation thing we had going. I liked that.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But anyway, so then that happens. Ford goes crazy because he ate some Wraith stuff.
Yeah.
And
mainly because that character wasn't working out. They wanted to write him out of the main plot.
Meaning we get Ronan Dex, who is kind of a warrior culture dude who's also a berserker barbarian.
He's the local Chewbacca.
They even nickname him Chewie in series.
Yeah.
He's okay.
That one was really inspiring in this series. I mean, we like McKay, but like that was kind of it.
Yeah, we like McKay. They had some interesting ideas.
Yeah, you know, again, it was channel flipping sci-fi. Like, oh, okay, that's kind of neat. They did this thing with the replicators, and they were like jumping inside each other's minds, and you're like, that's kind of cool, but you know, shrug.
I mean, yeah. The most important thing was they had interesting ideas. They didn't always execute them well, like the tumor machine. The tumor machine.
We had this great idea.
Okay, no. The tumor machine actually does make some sense when you think about it, because the Wraith use organic ships.
Oh.
And unfortunately, it's the stupid kind of organic ships where it's made of like coral and stuff. Yu Shanfong, I am looking at you.
Yep.
As opposed to like a Farscape organic ship or a Voyager organic ship where they have organic components with metal and other actual starship-y technologies.
Right.
But I digress. The ancients' thought was, maybe we can use this to induce tumors into these ships that will explode. This was a stupid idea.
And then it just gave tumors to people?
Yeah.
Wow.
It killed like 3 people in the Atlantis team before they finally figured out how to stop it.
Wow.
Including one of the main characters, Dr. Carson Beckett.
Wow, I don't even remember her. What was she?
Him. He was the main doctor for most of the show.
Wow. See, this is how forgettable this show is. No, maybe I remember that guy, actually. I'm trying to...
Scottish.
Yeah, okay. I remember him as the Scottish guy.
Yeah,
They killed the Scottish guy. All right.
Yeah, but then they later brought him back
See,
because
they keep doing that.
A Wraith made a clone of him, and fuck that noise. And the ending was... And they kept changing commanders after the 3rd season. 4th season, they had Samantha Carter come back and be commander. It was underwhelming. And the next season, they had this IOA guy. The IOA is a civilian organization created to oversee
the bureaucrat guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
You might remember him because it's Robert Picardo, the guy who played the emergency medical hologram on Voyager.
Right.
Which was kind of cool because I didn't know what Voyager was at the time. Which is still cool because now I'm saying, oh, it's the EMH, the only good part of Voyager.
The
end of Voyager.
The end of it. Well, before we get to the end of Atlantis, allow me to talk about that prison thing.
Oh God.
God, all they ever do is get captured. It happens so often. It's like, oh, we need 10 minutes more of this plot. How about we get captured? And my goodness, I have this other sci-fi character of mine that I want her to be imprisoned at some point, and to get really mad and demand Stargate Atlantis prison protocols. Do you understand how this is supposed to work? You're supposed to put me in a cell with all my friends, unmonitored, we can talk to each other, no shackles, and the way to open the door is a switch right outside the door, so if we throw a rock at it or something, it'll just open, and there'll be no alarms, and no one will find out, and our weapons are stashed right down the hall, and we can easily fight our way out. That is how you put people in jail! That's how they did. So the Wraith always did it, and it was like, I bet they're gonna break out again.
And heck, if it wasn't the Wraith, then it was one of the other human civilizations.
Right.
Because guess what? There's more humans here.
Yeah, even
heck,
more.
You know, the most interesting part of the show was when a splinter group of the Asgard showed up, and that was so cool.
Yeah.
Except that they weren't as advanced as the other Asgard, and they were total dicks. But still, the Asgard were alive.
Yeah.
But they were dicks. But they were alive.
You're alive, dicks. Yeah. Well, yeah, just the prison thing was just so dumb. I mean, there was one time I liked the prison thing because they actually put them in different cells, and they put Shepard in the cell with this one girl he'd never seen who acts like a prisoner, but she's actually like working for the enemy. She's hoping she'll
She's a Wraith worshiper.
She's a Wraith worshiper, right? But the reason I liked them for being slightly smart about that. I also liked Shepard for just making stuff up about what scares him most. He's like
clowns.
The clowns, and like she brings it up again. Like, well, do you have any? Fight? Are you at war with the clowns? Well, I've seen the clowns in combat.
And they come out, their cars, and there's endless waves of them that come out of these cars.
And they just keep coming. And he does it totally deadpan. Like, I like that moment.
He does most of his lines
totally
totally
everything deadpan. That's true, yeah.
But one thing I don't like, they always use the same P90 weapons throughout all of this.
Yeah, nobody upgrades
from the beginning
anything.
I mean, they should have laser weapons or plasma cannons.
Yeah. Oh, well. So then the very underwhelming ending. I tuned in for the finale, and I was like, shrug.
The Wraith basically construct a super battleship which is capable of going to Earth in another galaxy. So they do.
So then we just turn on the engines of Atlantis, because we can do that now, and we're flying, and we fly to Earth.
Well, they did that several times in the series.
To another galaxy?
Yeah, like they make it all the way to the other outside edge of the galaxy, where they activate the wormhole drive to get aka the Deus Ex Machina of the week.
Yeah.
They never bring it up ever again.
Well, the series ends, but yeah.
Yeah, well, they could have brought it up in
Stargate Universe. You're right.
Yeah, which is where I really cannot stand it.
Really? Because I only saw the first couple episodes, but I thought it was all right. It seemed to be taking itself more seriously than previous Stargate. All right, let's give you the premise. Stargate Universe. Instead of going to another galaxy, we're going to an ancient ship.
Okay, the premise behind it was basically, for the longest time, everyone knows that Stargates have 9 chevrons. You need 7 to contact something in your local galaxy, 8 to contact something outside the galaxy, which had been used to contact Atlantis and the galaxy of Ida, where the Asgard lived. But no one knew what the 9th chevron was for.
Yep.
So they found a basically planet-sized bomb with a core made of explodium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plugged the Stargate in and tried to dial it. This failed until some bad guys showed up and captured Hatox and started attacking the planet, whereupon the planet starts exploding, so they all run through where the 9th chevron has activated.
Well, right. They were able to activate it regardless of whether the thing was bombing them. It just the timing worked out that way. They're getting bombed, they have to run through, and they go to this ship that's like,
literally on the other side of the universe.
Pretty much, yeah. Several galaxies
called
away.
the Destiny.
Hundreds of millions of light years.
It's a super pretentious name like that.
Yeah.
And the Ancients, once again, have not cleaned up any of their super dangerous crap.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone's stranded there, and there's no way to contact Earth. Oh, wait, except for these magic stones that will allow us to take over someone's body.
You could have just left them stranded. It would have been a fine series. Stop going things and unstranding people.
Ugh. And I found all of the characters to be whiny and unlikable. It felt like a carbon copy of Battlestar Galactica.
Wait, that would make it good. It felt like a cheap knockoff, you mean?
Yeah. That's what I meant. And I hated all the characters. Except for the fat guy. The fat guy I liked.
Was that the math nerd? Or is there another guy?
The guy who was a kid and he wasn't part of any Stargate program.
Right, and they brought him because he was so good at math, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I liked him. He was the one I least wanted to see shoved out the airlock. But
I thought there was something to work with there.
The music was obnoxious, for one.
I didn't even notice the music. But I only saw the first couple episodes.
It was always this atonal stuff like... Drum, 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 drum. And everything seemed... I don't know, like they were trying desperately to make ancient technology seem like cumbersome and not worky, except that I already thought ancient technology looked cumbersome and not worky. In fact, it looked best when it was on Atlantis.
It only lasted 1 season, yeah, the show?
Yeah, it only lasted 1 season.
Yeah. Yeah, so... Yes. So what's this 4th series?
Well, not done talking about it. Universe basically lasted for 20 episodes because of bad ratings. The plot of it was that Destiny was falling behind a Stargate seeder ship, which seeded Stargates for the Ancients, except that the Ancients are gone now.
Right, so it's an automated ship.
Yep, it's totally automated, and no one can figure out how anything works. And eventually they get to the other side of the galaxy, and they're going to another galaxy now to plant more Stargates over there. And everyone goes into cryostasis except for the math nerd, who draws the short straw and is scheduled to die alone in the void between the galaxies.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I was not a fan. The fourth series is very non-canon. Stargate Infinity. It was an animated TV show about a group of Stargate team trainees and their leader, who was a grizzled older dude, going on adventures throughout the Stargate network to clear their name because they were wrongfully accused of a crime they didn't commit. If you can find them, and if you can afford them, and if you know how to contact them, maybe you can find the A-Team. Da 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 da.
I've never actually seen that show. I just know the opening.
Yeah, me either. But, so basically, it was an animated show scheduled to take place 30 years after the Goa'uld had been defeated. Totally.
So there's not much to do.
Well, actually, the problem is that when the show was first released, they were still fighting Apophis.
Oh.
The first bad guy.
Right.
So, no, they had no idea of what anything would be like. The Stargates had 8 chevrons. The ancients were bird people.
Wow.
I swear to God, I'm not making that up. There was a new race of aliens that were green, and they were bullies, and they were like Nazis. But the primary focus was on, these kids are going to different planets, and they're learning valuable lessons on the... It was like My Little Pony, except extremely stupid.
Wow.
Dear Princess Stargate Command, today I learned I shouldn't lie, because that nearly got some people killed. No doubt I will ultimately forget this lesson completely in the next 10 minutes, and can proceed to lie and not change my ways at all.
Broke it, or forgotten ASAP, rather. Yeah.
Yeah. It was canceled after 1 season.
Yeah, alright, so... Stargate as a franchise, it's channel flipping sci-fi overall. Is what like if it happens to be available to you, okay, you can watch it. It's got some ideas, but it's not something I'd seek out. I'll tell you something. Next Generation, Star Trek Next Generation. That's something I'd tell people, go buy the DVD. I really love that show.
The Next Generation for me is channel flipping sci-fi.
You think so? I guess we have different sensibilities.
I mean, there's some episodes that I would definitely say, okay, I don't care if you like sci-fi or not, go see this.
Yeah,
like Best of Both Worlds or Q Who.
Yeah.
But Deep Space Nine is my
you think so?
seek it out thing. But Stargate, I feel it's in between those two extremes. I feel it's a fun show that knows what it is, and
it makes the lampshades.
It makes fun of what it is. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it has fun with what it does. I think, and it knows what it wants to be.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, they don't always have the budget to pull it off, but they're gonna have a lot of fun while doing it.
They're gonna point you in that direction. Imagine the rest. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a great sci-fi starter series.
Maybe. It's also, easy to pick up midstream. Unlike
Precisely.
BSG, which would be harder to do. That's very serial.
Yes.
Yeah, even though the plot lines didn't add up in the end, but that's okay.
No, okay.
But yeah, that's about all my thoughts.
Yep.
I guess
mine
we're done.
too. And so I guess till next time, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
And we're signing off.